data security is always the top, thing on the management's head. The big difference between the traditional enterprise software and today's language model-based software is the traditional enterprise software is more like specified. You know exactly what the input and what's the output. You have a fully control on the access of the user's rights or permissions. But language model-based application depend on language model. It works very differently. That means users have more freedom to ask any questions. And also the data also including the input to the language model, basically is the user questions, all the surrounding context which try to complement to the user question, fit into the language model for processing to get the answer. And of course, the output from language model. So all these data are not predefined. It can be in any way, in any format, which basically meaning those data may potentially containing the confidential information, which should not be accessible by the user who have no permissions. So, and when companies use the public language model, especially as a services, that problem, that data issue might be even more important because the enterprise has no full control of the language model. That's the language model services operated by the third party, like by OpenAI, like by Google, for example. So that means potentially the user's question, the contextual information from the enterprise landscape may becoming part of the language model during the improvement or during the fine-tuning process, which meaning unintentionally, the company's confidential data or company's secret data may becoming exposed to other people in certain way. So of course, we can take a lot of measurements. So in addition to the traditional measurements like, access control, like, classify the data, etc. So there's some other measurements in the time of, Gen AI or language model, people should think about. So that's first thing is really review how the data being used and how the data flow looks like. And the second one is very important, is really the education. Because many people are using language model, don't really understand how the model works, how the Gen AI works. So educated people, how they interact with the Gen AI model or language model, how their data, no matter their questions or the output from their questions, how those information will be exposed, will be used potentially by the language model or by the other people. So the education to the end user, how to use the system properly, becoming extremely important. Okay, and finally, it's really about the model is very dynamic, and the user's behavior could be also dynamic. So when the time moves, user may ask very different question or ask question in different way, or the system may not designed for the future. System designed, not for adaptive evolvement. So that means constantly to monitoring how the Gen AI model, how the application being used, whether user's behavior has been changed, how that matters to the system, how that matters to the data security, etc. is also becoming, very important.